My name is Cosimo Schirripa. I'm the Head of Careers here at Servite College. I've been teaching for probably 35 years now, and I've been at Servite for about 19, 20 years. In terms of my age, let's put it this way, I have to get special permission from the fire brigade whenever they light the candles for my birthday. One of my prize students was Captain Cook. So I've been around for a little while. It means a great deal. I think the greatest compliment you can give any school as a teacher is to feel so comfortable with the school and its ethos and the job that it does that you would allow members of your family to attend. And to that end, I've had firstly, I feel like I've been at Servite most of my life, or at least had an affiliation with Servite. When I was at university, I lived just around the corner in Stoneham Street. And then in the late 1980s, early 1990s, I had 6 of my nephews and nieces that went through the college and did very, very well. In the early 2010s onwards, I had my own children come here. I had a daughter firstly, and then a son who was a head boy here, and then my youngest daughter came here. 2 of my students, or 2 of my children, were so, I suppose, happy with how they were taught by their teachers and the way that they were treated and so on, that they actually have gone on to become teachers as well. So, I think that's a really important thing. And in more recent times, I've actually now got the second generation of my family here. I've got 2 great nephews and 3 great nieces here as well. And I've got numerous cousins and friends of the family here. So I feel that this is almost an extension of my extended family. So yeah, it does mean a great deal to me. A typical day would be, I'm here at 7:30 every morning. The latest would be 7:45. And from about 8 o'clock onwards, we get a steady stream of students coming in to see us here in the Pathways office, either myself or Nerida. And we, basically are here to help students who might have any questions about careers and career development and their pathways and so on. I teach generally 2 to 3 periods a day, but other than that, we are pretty well here for students, and every break we would get students popping in here as well. So it's a fairly busy day, and we're usually here till about 4ish, and then obviously that's the end of the day. And like every teacher, we go home and prep for the next day. Probably for me, it's St. Philip's Day, and simply because you really see the community atmosphere that is Servite. I think St. Philip's Day is a day where we can all actually live and experience all of those, the ethos of the school, and it's just a fantastic time. I also really enjoy, in terms of my direct involvement, the Careers Expo. There is nothing more stimulating as a career practitioner than to actually see students gathering information and making decisions based on talking to the experts about where they might want to go post year 12. Teaching, and my job in particular, careers, is the only profession that actually creates other professionals. So we're very, in a very fortunate situation, and any event in this college where that can happen is something I really enjoy. Probably the kids themselves. The children here are very much a reminiscent of where I have come from. I am first generation Italian Australian, and most of the students here are from Southern European background, either first, second or third generation, and I get where they come from. I've got my own children who have got an extremely similar background, and for me, these kids are honest kids who expect very little and are thankful for what they get. And I think that's probably the thing that I've enjoyed most of about my time. This is my 5th or 6th school, and I wouldn't leave here for quids. It's I just love I love Servite. I love everything about the teaching ethos here, and most importantly, I just love the people that we work with, which is of course the kids. I get them, and I know where they are coming from. Firstly, new staff. I think any staff member that comes here either starting or continuing their profession, if they come here expecting it to be a normal 9 to 5 job where they are simply counting down the hours until the end of the day, they are not going to enjoy their time here. The students here will see right through that. If teachers are not showing empathy, showing a commitment to their job and to the students, they'll probably not enjoy teaching at this college. If they are prepared to, put the time and effort in, and I suppose, get involved in extracurricular activities and so on, then this is a fantastic place. They'll get rewarded 10 times over, and whatever time and effort they put in, they'll get back tenfold through the kids, just simply building a relationship with them, and it'll be fantastic. For new students, I think it's really important that new students get involved in as many of the extracurricular activity as they can, and I think it's important that they use their time in class as well as they possibly can. Probably the only downside with some of our students is that the work ethic is not as brilliant as it could be, but nevertheless, I think that's one of the few negatives that I can find. I have a dog who I walk both morning and night, and I really enjoy spending time with him. It's unlike the students I teach. He doesn't answer back, and he does what he's told generally. I love my football. I'm a Hawthorn supporter, and I really enjoy doing that. And I'm very, very keen on keeping fit. I've just purchased a spin bike at home. It was a very expensive spin bike. For the price, it should spin itself, but it still needs me. And so I'll do an hour's workout most nights. And then, of course, like most teachers, the evening usually involves some prep work for the next day. And of course, family for me is very, very important. I've got, as I said, 3 beautiful kids, and a lovely wife who's very supportive as well. And one of the highlights for me is the nights that we get together each week, and we share a meal, and they're able to drink now, and to share a wine is fantastic.